Kind day to you all, I'm Kinsmark, and this is my first 15 with Time of Dragons. All I know about it is that it's some kind of aerial combat game available as a free-to-play title on Steam, so let's check it out. I have already adjusted some settings, and I've found the choices available a little anemic, to put it lightly. However, as this is rendered on the Unity engine, some things like resolution are changed in the launcher instead of in-game, so keep that in mind. Audio seems a little loud at first, so I've toned that a lot down. Sensitivity, of course, for mouse is at least available. I am having a hard time with the fact that there isn't any key mapping options available, so as I think this is a competitive game, that's kind of a considerable concern. Anyway, let's check out the choices available. So, I think this scrolly here at the side is the character availability? The mounts? So Cronus here, that is the Dragonheart dragon. You can't fool me. I know that facial shape. Let's see, Array. Okay. Inara. That's kind of pretty. Toxor. How many are there? Alright, so there's a fair amount. Ogre. He seems charming. Fury. It's Toothless! Night Fury! Alright, sorry. Vampire. Okay. And finally, Tiamat. Because there just can't exist anything at all to do with dragons without Tiamat. Alright, so, create dragon for 3 DNA. I have 6 DNA. Can I create a Tiamat? Could I conceivably make one of her and a Fury? They're 3 each, so sure. Create. Ha! He's even colored properly. Alright, I like it. Is that me across the way there? This seems like an odd contrast of anachronisms. The concept of dragon riding in something with some fairly advanced technology. Are these things... I mean, I suppose because it is DNA I'm creating them with, I'm essentially cloning them from creatures past. Alright. I should probably have checked the stats on each of these. I'm just kind of adhering straight to the rule of cool so far. Alright, so... let's see. Plasma. Default ammunition for the turret. Aha! Alright, I had seen in screenshots that some of the character mount creatures in this game are in fact harnessed with, like, conventional weapons. So, this could get cool and/or ridiculous pretty fast. Plasma Ball. Special ability Firestorm. Stamina Kit. And a mine. Alright, so those seem like consumables and cooldown activatable things for combat. Alright then. Statistics. So these are mine. Alright, I see. And then there is, of course, play with friends. So, I suppose it's time to jump into combat. Let's see here. So there's, looks like 6 modes available. Deathmatch, TDM, points, control points. Alright, so that's a fairly standard control point mode, as the name should imply. Souls. Dragon Souls. Okay. And Collector. Some of these... can I hover over them? Cool, alright, so it does show a little preview then. Kill enemy dragons and seize their souls. Oh, okay, so it's a kill confirm mode. I see. Fight shoulder to shoulder in a team with other players. Kill enemy dragons, seize their souls, deliver them. Okay, I see then. I think I'll join a team deathmatch, as that is, as always, a pretty comparable mode from game to game. And I can only hope that since this was just released a few weeks ago, that there are some active players in its community. So, I think I'll simply start as Cronus, since he is the default creature, and jump straight in. Alright then. So this is fairly approachable. Alright. So it seems as though I can direct my heading with the mouse. W, A, S, and D seem like they control... Alright, so that's lateral movement. W is to power forward. And S is reverse. Alright. And there we go! Whoa. Alright. Left click fires the shoulder-mounted energy cannons on my dragon mount. And right click is some kind of conjurable energy shield. Alright. Let's get our Space Tech and McCaffrey on, shall we? That's actually kind of canon. I know some of you have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't care. Read your fantasy novels. Oh, alright, alright. So let's check the UI here, since I have a little lull. Progress meters at the top, looks like match counter at the top, activatables on the lower end of the screen, my health I assume as well, and a map. And it seems like, judging the render distance, these maps are pretty large. I kind of like that, and I think we're taking shots. Okay. I can hit sprint for, like, intense flapping action! Alright. Let's try and figure out my Dragon Rider name, shall we? In the McCaffrey-verse. Since they, I haven't read them in ages. Isn't it that they cull the first vowel from your name and add an apostrophe in its place? I think I just killed someone! Congratulations! So that's Kunzmark for me. Victory! I feel like I just kind of flew through that. See what I did there? Alright. Oh, vote map. Mines. That sounds interesting. I am overruled, apparently. Alright, then. So, I'm kind of liking the control scheme so far. A lot of games have attempted, you know, aerial combat with dragons and other creatures. And specifically, for these kinds of creatures, few have hit the mark very well. Percussion, you're very excited about yourself. It's just a loading screen. You can calm down. Because the Drakengard games of classic PlayStation fare, I had some misgivings with, and it had largely just to do with the aesthetic and the story of those games, because the controls were actually pretty nice. It was pretty much Dynasty Warriors with summonable dragons that you could then mount and fly and have aerial combat with. Like, it was pretty fun. Then, of course, there was, in the same era, the Reign of Fire games. Alright. Little dive bomb there. Alright. Yeah. Circle around. Flank him. Good. There we are. Oh no. Oh, he seems angry. Ah, shield! Shield! Oh, I have limited energy. Okay. Ow! Alright. I kind of earned that. I overextended the hell out of myself. And then, of course, Skyrim's dragon riding was just a complete and utter disappointment. And who can forget Spyro? The classics. It seems like, come to think of it, few modern devs have really done it. Oh, that's the meter there to the right on my HUD. That's my energy. I see. Or at least it's sort of an overheat meter. Haha! Enemy kill. Alright, can I change dragons mid-combat? Because I kind of want to test out the others that I apparently cloned. Tab. Nah. Alright, seems like that's a choice that's made at the start of a match. Alright. So, let's... Alright, yeah. I'm definitely overheating. So, R, I think, is that, like, Dragonfire ability. Let's see, is there anyone around here? These controls are very intuitive, I'll give them that. Oh, jeez, those are mines. Alright, I thought those were like pickups. Alright, my mistake. Alright! Scorched him from the skies. This is kind of fun. It's a little cluttered in terms of just the arrangement of the HUD. I mean, there isn't much there. What is there does kind of get in the way a little, so... Alright. Fair play. Fair play to you. Can I change? Aha! Alright. So it isn't the start of the match, it's just from each life to the next. So, let's see. Does he have any special abilities? Whoa! Is it, like, cloaked, or is that just my spawn thing? Alright, already seems like Night Fury is fittingly faster. So that's pretty cool. And these animations are pretty smooth and organic. Like, they actually feel fairly natural. Because it feels like there is a fair amount of air resistance and momentum that gets carried. So, kudos to especially a small team for coming up with fairly decent aerial physics. Alright, let's see. I kind of hope I get killed at least once more so I can test Tiamat. Haha! Alright. It's a little jaggy around the edges in terms of some of the texture and renderings. The model quality is actually pretty impressive. Some of these environmental assets look a little more like they're just clipping into each other than as though they're organic. That's a relatively minor thing, though. Let's see here. Come on. Come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where are they? Where are they? The threads. Must kill them. That could make for kind of a cool, like, co-op PvE mode if there isn't something like that already in the game. You'd have to call them something different, of course. Still, though, fighting the threads from the sky could make for a fun mode. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Squadron, whoa! Oh, jeez, that was like... What just happened? Alright, I hit R just as that happened, so... I think for the Fury, that's the cooldown ability? It isn't the flame. It's instead some kind of, like, flash ability. Alright. Let's see. I forget what some of these things do. Ah, crap. Looks like they managed to wipe out the majority of our team. Alright, Tiamat. Let's see here. What is your ability? She is Queen of the Dragons, after all. For those who aren't aware, also comes from existing mythology. Cannot escape. Cannot. Oh! Oh. Oops! I didn't know friendly fire was a thing. Kinda killed a friendly there. And it is fitting. Tiamat has no friends. Let's see. Whoa! Okay, so her R ability is a self-centered AoE. Got it. Alright. Alright. I was actually performing most as the default. Although I did like the speed of it. So, let's cycle in as Cronus again. Here we are. And then after I conclude this match, I'll check and see if there's any other aspects of this game, or if this is pretty much it as far as the kinds of gameplay. I mean, of course, there are the other modes. I want to see if there's any kind of customization, that kind of thing. Ah! Yep, that's definitely the Fury ability, is that flash. And that gives them the chance to maneuver around. Alright, so I earned a DNA point. Alright, so that answers the question of how one comes by those. So, let's see here. Let me leave this lobby and see just what the currencies and such that I have earned are for. So it seems like that's just purely XP, and it seems like with each level I earn DNA points. Is there any kind of customization or shops or something? Let's see here. Info. So this of course gives the rundown of exactly how they play statistically. I can't see any kind of customization. So I think it's pretty much just suss out which of the dragons you like at first, unlock the first little handful that you like the idea of, and then keep playing to earn your way toward unlocking the complete roster. So it's pretty simple, and yet I kind of had a fun time with it. It isn't one that I think just because there isn't all that much to unlock and progress in, that it'll incentivize me to keep playing all that much. I could see myself, especially when the mood strikes, just having a fun evening with this, because it seems like the type of game that you could just play a few rounds of and, you know, work your way toward, I want to unlock Dragon X, and then play around with it, experiment a little. So I'd consider this a very successful proof of concept for the kinds of games that this particular dev team, I actually think their credits are available in the settings, are capable of producing. Because I can't find any glaring flaws in it. It isn't all that ambitious, however, what it sets out to do, it's done pretty well. So I think the one place I'd say it falls a little short in terms of critical criticism is the audio. The music is pretty forgettable. The dragon roars seem kind of tinny, like you can hear them here in the menu. They kind of sound aged. They're a little dated, as though they were sourced from like an old film that's kind of grainy in its audio already. Other than that, the visuals are alright, especially as Unity rendering is concerned, and the controls, as I mentioned, were pretty intuitive. It felt like I could control things as I should, and I didn't really have to fumble around with it and figure things out. It felt as though the keys that should control certain things did so. So I can praise this game pretty highly, especially considering that it's free to play. So check it out if this has at all interested you. I'm Kinsmark here at Last Level Press, and as always, I wish you all good gaming and Godspeed.